A year ago, the statue of Edward Colston on this plinth right here was toppled by a big crowd who put it into the harbour. That was a thing that was seen right across the world, and the world's media came to Bristol to ask what was going on. One thing they didn't really talk about though was the Society of Merchant Venturers. The Society of Merchant Venturers are key to the story of Edward Colston right from the time when he joined in the 17th century. It evolved into a philanthropic organisation in Victorian times, although the philanthropy is being questioned right now. Well, it's by invitation only. They ask you. And what they say they're looking for in a merchant is somebody who is already heavily involved in the community in Bristol, doing stuff, actively involved in charity work and philanthropy. They tend to be very rich. It wasn't until the year 2000 that they invited their first woman to join, and soon after that they invited their first person of colour to join as well. And it wasn't until the start of 2020, so just before the Colston statue was toppled, that they invited their first member who came from Bristol's black community. St Monica's Trust is a charity that is run and controlled by the Society of Merchant Venturers, and across the greater Bristol area the Society of Merchant Venturers say that they care for, directly or indirectly, about 5,000 people in care homes like this, retirement places, almshouses and through care work at home. In 2017, when the Colston Hall announced it was dropping the name of Edward Colston, there was a lot of pressure on other buildings and institutions around Bristol that were named after Edward Colston to reassess that. And that was also true here at Colston's Girls' School. The head teacher at the time, John Whitehead, wanted to have a consultation to talk to the staff and the pupils and the parents about whether or not they should drop the name Colston, but he was blocked by the Society of Merchant Venturers, who controlled the governing body and the academy trust that run the school. After the Colston statue was pulled down, John Whitehead said, "Is it right that an unelected and unaccountable organisation that has always focused on self-preservation should have so much influence over the education of young people in this school and others?" And he concluded by saying, "My instinct is that they only change when they have no choice. Their instinct is self-preservation. This instinct is more important than the commitment to improving schools. This is why they are not fit sponsors for an educational trust." So that is a former head teacher of one of the Society of Merchant Venturers' own schools saying that the Society of Merchant Venturers are not fit to run schools in Bristol. In the last few years, as Bristol began to realise what the statue of Edward Colston was there to celebrate, efforts were made to educate people and retell the story a little bit better, and there was plans for a second plaque to be put on down there. This was instigated by the Mayor of Bristol, and a number of historians got involved in working out what that plaque should say. Somebody from the Society of Merchant Venturers got involved and changed the wording of it, contested each little word to talk about Edward Colston's history and the fact that he was personally involved with the Royal Africa Company in the deaths of 20,000 people, including a couple of thousand children, on his ships that sailed as part of the transatlantic slave trade. Those kinds of details were taken out by the Society of Merchant Venturers, and the Mayor, Marvin Rees, had this to say about what happened next with that plaque.
When it was brought back to me, and I saw the wording that was on it, it wasn't good history, the point I made. And I said to put that on the plaque is insulting. And I prefer to have nothing on the plaque, nothing on the plinth, than put that on there.
I think the statue coming down was like a catalyst, and like a catalyst it made everything move faster. So I think what's been happening in the city generally, and the people we're talking to, and within the merchant venturers, things are just moving faster. Conversations are being accelerated. There's still areas of huge disadvantage in Bristol, and that needs to change. We need to close those gaps.
One of the key bits of Bristol that the Society of Merchant Venturers have an interest in is the Downs. And here, Clifton Down, the merchant venturers actually own this land. Under an Act of Parliament in 1861, Clifton Down and Durham Down, just up the road, was given over to a thing called the Downs Committee, which is made up of half the members are members of the Society of Merchant Venturers, and the other half are elected Bristol City Councillors. The story about this bit of the Downs is that it's been used as a car park, overflow car park for the zoo, for decades. In 2019, despite the council kind of telling the zoo, actually you need to stop this, a subcommittee of the Downs Committee gave the zoo a 20-year permission to use this land. The Downs Committee charged the circus, and there's a big festival up there, the other side of Durham Down. They charged them tens of thousands of pounds to rent an area of land for just a week or so, but they charged the zoo only about £7,000 a year to use this as a car park for like 25 days a year. On the board of the zoo is a merchant venturer, and if you look around all the different charities and organisations in Bristol, they all tend to have a merchant venturer on their board or involved in how they operate. Now, the merchant venturers say is that that's just how it is, because the kind of people who they get involved are already involved in all these different charities and stuff. And it's almost the kind of the other way round, that they are involved in all these charities, so they therefore become merchant venturers. But for the conspiracy theorists in Bristol, what they say is that the merchant venturers have got their fingers in every pie in Bristol and actually control a lot more than just the schools and the nursing homes and the Downs.
There have always been people within the ventures who want to make a contribution to the city, and you know we've seen that. Now, that's not me giving a pass to the ventures on anything. It's not me condemning the ventures. I'm just taking on individuals I come into contact that want to get things done.